Okay, item 8, the Central City Biannual Report. Welcome, Laura.
Activity between July and December 2022. I'm going to run through a quick 5-minute presentation of some of the key highlights. And you've already seen from our city making partners some of their highlights as well. The Central City has been buzzing with international tourists. Local businesses have experienced a much needed boost due to the return of cruise ships, the opening of Te Pai and the easing impacts of COVID-19. Visitor spend from October to December was up 46% in comparison to the same time last year. There has also been a 5% increase in the amount of employees working in the Central City. A number of vacant sites have been improved to avoid the city vacant differential rating. This includes improved landscaping on temporary car parks. 2 vacant sites have also been activated with support from the Enliven Places program to provide free and fun places to play. Pictured here is a brand new basketball court on Snessa Street and the new location of the dancer mat on Manchester Street. Sorry, the basketball court is on Snessa. 235 High Street has been removed from the barrier sites program as repairs are well underway, and significant progress has been made on other sites on the list, including 92 Litchfield Street, which had the protective containers removed, and 159 Hereford Street, which had the glazing on the western facade replaced. There is new content on the lighting installations, and you've already heard about our grant funding. The Central City residential population continues to grow. There was 79 homes completed between July and December 2022, with another almost 600 homes in the pipeline. Pictured here are recent developments in the south and the east frames. To support the growing residential population, initiatives are underway, including the development of a hoarding design for developers to use on construction sites in the Central City, and planning for adding street trees to Suffolk Street. There has been a lot of progress on major building projects across the Central City. Pictured here is the completion of the south frame, the start of concrete pours for Te Kaha, and concept plans for a retail and commercial building on High Street. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. And Jake?
Thanks for that. It's really positive. The last few reports have been noticeably really positive. I'm wondering if you have a staff view about how the vacant rate differential has worked. Has it met expectations, less than, more than exceeded?
I'll probably answer that one. It's certainly driven a lot of gravel car park owners to make resource consent applications, which is a really positive thing. It's bringing those into a normalised process. We're doing a piece of work at the moment. We're writing to all the owners who have got consents but not necessarily delivered on their landscaping and access improvements, so that by the time we get to June, we'll see a lot more actual physical change taking place. So there's some good news stories coming out of that. And then there are a number of development sites which are coming forward for permanent developments. Laura's referred to the one on the corner of High Street in Manchester. There are the sites which you've considered in as part of the previous item, which have all come forward. So there's still good positive momentum out there, and demand, particularly around the office space, suggests that there's still plenty of interest. So,
yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yanni?
Yeah, thanks. Just wanted to know if we are able to find out in terms of the housing, the typology of how much is actually first-time homeowners, how much is, rental, and how much is short-term accommodation, Airbnb. Do we have any ability to assess what's happening with the units that are being built? I just asked that mindful of a website that just went online that shows multiple property ownership by one person, but just trying to understand, I guess, the trends of the people that are coming into the city who are living there, what the connection is between the types of housing that's been built.
Yeah, we don't currently collect that data as part of our Central City Progress Dashboard, but it's something that we can look into adding.
It might be worth just adding, when the census comes around next, we'll have a better understanding of who's occupying homes. It doesn't necessarily tell us about the homes themselves, but we certainly have a balance of our new areas having more rental or more owner occupation. So that's a feel, at least.
Right, because some of the stuff that came through the Airbnb hearings talked to that impact of residential coherence and community cohesion, or social cohesion in communities, in terms of the impact of short-term accommodation versus, permanent living. So I was just really keen to understand how we're measuring the social impact of what's happening as well.
Yeah, it's something we definitely keep an eye on as part of Project 811, and will continue to. So,
Okay.
Thank you, Tyrone. Sorry, you've not
Oh,
finished.
sorry, just one other question. In terms of the retail spend, I appreciate you've got good sort of data, and you've got kind of reference to the cruise ships and to Pi, but are we actually doing any sort of surveys of businesses other than just looking at retail spend to understand what the impacts are of like the convention centre or the cruise ships? And I guess I'm just mindful of the stuff we've read about in Littleton, and also the fact that the convention centre doesn't have any activation around it. Most of the time it just sits there empty, not actually being utilised.
Yeah. I mean, we have regular dialogue with the CCBA in terms of understanding how things are changing in the central cities. That's a good barometer. With regards to other places, there are surveys of actual businesses done through the Life in Christchurch work. There's a biannual, not biannual, every 2 years there's a survey amongst owners and operators. Not aware of anything being done in Littleton, but certainly the article yesterday has probably piqued some interest in whether we ask some more questions around the benefits of cruise passengers, particularly to Littleton itself.
Tyrone?
Thank you.
Okay, that's fine. Aaron?
I'm just a little concerned about Councillor Johansson's comments around the convention centre, because I thought the numbers had actually been quite good through there. So maybe we should just get a brief, invite them in to tell us where they're at and what's going on there numbers-wise, because it might look empty from the outside, like Yanni's saying, but from what I believe, it is busy on the inside. So
The convention centre?
yeah,
I can, yep. I can tell you right now, I went down there a wee while ago and they had 1,500 clients there over 3 days.
Right.
And it didn't, because they're all enveloped inside the building, you don't see them, and 350 staff. So
So then maybe on Yanni's concern is how do we activate the outside more when stuff's on to make it look
Fair
like
comment.
stuff's going on,
Yep, okay.
so it doesn't look like a dead spot? Yeah, then would
Okay.
be the question of maybe some of our staff, like
we did
Claire
ask-
Piper or something, might have some ideas.
They're not our staff, remember?
It might be worth just adding that Christchurch NZ are initiating a piece of work looking at that area. So some of the types of things you're after there will come through that work.
Thank you. Pauline?
Yeah, thank you. I think when I envisaged that Te Pai, I thought there was going to be a cafe seating outside on the Victoria Street facing end, but it's kind of closed off, isn't it? My question, that's right, is where else do you do pedestrian counts? Anywhere else? Or just
So
Riverside?
we collect it across the central city. The central city progress dashboard on our website has top 6 locations.
Oh, okay.
But there is a wider count so that we can keep an eye on how that's tracking.
Great, thank you. Good.
Okay, just one question from me, and it's very nice to see the containers down Litchfield Street. Well, two questions actually. Have we taken have we tidied it back up to the roadside and the gutter where they were sitting? It may have happened and I haven't seen it, I'm sorry.
No. The next step there is to get the streetscape work done. There are some processes involved in getting that done. So for the moment it remains cordoned off, but that is looking to proceed, I'm going to say, the mid part of this year.
Okay, and the other one was next to the ECAN building, which I think they actually own. Is there any light at the end of the tunnel on when that may happen?
So there was some strengthening work done middle of last year. Our colleagues in partnership approvals are going to be asking some questions in the next few days of ECAN around actually when is the next step, because they had the intention of getting those off site back end of last year, early this. So it's in the pipeline.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry? You've remembered what you were going to ask?
Oh, I know, different question, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Like, I just want to note that Littleton's been misspelt in the report. It's EL, not LE, just so.
It's a worry of your life, that, isn't it? Fair enough, too.
It's a
Yanni.
great life, and that's my biggest worry, isn't it?
I just wanted to check with staff because although we've got the headlines around the positive nature of the return of the cruise ships, there's also been a social impact on people that use the bus in the bus exchange, and so I'm just quite keen to know, you know, what work are we doing in that space, because it does seem inherently unfair on people that want to catch the bus, who rely on the bus as a means of transport, to be displaced because of the cruise ship passengers. So is there any piece of work we're doing around the social impact of the cruise ships in the central city? Because I know this is only the central city report, but it may be that others want to do it in other communities.
So, Councillor, this is probably not for this team to answer, but I'll take that on notice, and we'll get you some information, or for all councillors, around that from the various teams that would be involved, public transport facilities teams as well.
And could we talk to Christchurch and Z about what the City Champions are actually doing to help in that regard as well?
Sure.
Great, thank you.
Thank you,
Those
Bruce.
conversations are happening, Yanni.
So Tim nicely has moved this. So the person that's seconding it is Mark. Thank you, Mark. So is there any debate? No debate. So I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? Thank you. Carried.
Thank you.
Very, very good report. Thank you.